Hey guys, just showing you a little bit on the main cab. Haven't done much to it, like I said, the actual cabinet, but I've been doing a few things today. I'd taken the speaker out that was right in that hole mounted there. That's about a 4-inch diameter hole. There was a grill mounted there, and there was a small speaker. I know you can't see in there, but where the hole is, there was a speaker mounted in there, and I got that out. Right here's the grill, and as you can tell, it came out very difficult. It had some places in it where it was bent already. This is just aluminum, and it had like little tabs that I don't know if it was just made to bite into the wood or what, but there were little tabs that kind of bit into the plywood, and there was also finish nails. You can see there's a hole right there. There was 4 finish nails around the circumference of the circle that went into the plywood. So I just basically tore this out with some needle nose pliers because I just wanted to get it out, and it was irritating me, and I wasn't going to reuse it because it was already kind of bent up and a little bit mangled. And got that out, got the speaker out. Speaker's still in good enough shape to use on something else if I need to, and but those are going to be replaced with some powered PC speakers and a subwoofer. They're just a set of stereo speakers and a subwoofer. I'm probably going to decase the little satellite left and right speaker and use the subwoofer probably as it is, unless I can find a pretty neat way to incorporate it into the cabinet and build it a new box or something. And that's the old control panel wood. Right there's where the 2 old style coin mechs were mounted. That's where the trackball was mounted and the buttons and everything. And I just got that took apart. I'm still going to keep that little service button. I just think it's kind of neat. It says service on it. I thought I'd incorporate that. I don't know if it'll be on the panel on the outside or if it's going to be inside the cabinet. Might put it inside somewhere, or at least under the edge of the panel where you can't really see it, but I just thought it was a neat button to keep. And these are just some extra pieces of wood. You've already seen those in another video. And got that off the front of the cabinet. If you remember from the other videos, it's very strange the way it tilts open. There's a piano hinge that was connected across through here, and it's still on the control panel part. And what I'm thinking of doing is just making another piece of wood off of some of that plywood that I bought that is exactly the same as that, but maybe just a foot or so, taller, and just cover this entire thing so it wouldn't have the hinged part right there anymore. And once I get up around maybe this height right here, probably cut it about maybe that much longer and take that piece out and remount that here to make a whole new front for it, and either put some of that black laminate on it or put some graphics on it, some type of vinyl that's printed off of a site online or something. And then right here, I'm thinking of mounting the new control panel I'll make. I'm probably going to make it similar to a Mortal Kombat style, but maybe just a little smaller. And this has already got a little bit of a pitch to it, kind of an angle. I'm thinking about cutting this on down a little ways and then just come straight across. That way to be nice and flat, and make a control panel that can just sit on there just like the Mortal Kombats do, and have it bolt on, and just build it similar to those. I might curve the front of it or something. And this part right here, of course, like I was saying, it's got to come out. I'm going to take that out in just a minute, and I'll probably come back and show you that removed, because this is for the old 19-inch monitor and the mounting and everything for it. And I'm just going to take this entire bit out because the new 25-inch monitor, instead of laying so flat, it's going to be up like this by the cabinet, and it's not going to have very much of a reveal, maybe about 1 inch of a reveal of the wood right here in front, because the darn monitor that's monitor right there, it's so freaking huge. I'm just barely going to be able to fit it in the cabinet. And to kind of show you what I'm talking about, kind of made a cardboard template. If I can get this turned around, made it out of a pizza box. Trying to hold the camera and do this, and it's aggravating. But anyway, got this cardboard template, and I just made it, like the profile of the monitor. That's the bottom of this monitor because it's kind of on a flat piece of wood, the way that's mounted. I know you can't see back in there, but there's like a piece of compressed wood on the bottom. You can see it better right there. And then it's got metal mounts on each side of it. And I'm probably going to keep that like it is, but I'm I'm going to have to come back with some type of metal cutting blade on one of my saws and cut this off down through there, because that flange sticks out further than the width of the cabinet. Cabinet's only 2 foot wide, and with these flanges on each side, this is like 2 foot and 1.5 inches, I think. So I'm going to have to cut those flanges off each side. But anyway, this is kind of like a little, you know, kind of a profile cutout. I just kind of did it one day with some cardboard off a pizza box, and you can tell it's just barely, like right there's where the neck board would be, it's just barely going to clear, and just clear, maybe it might have 1 inch at the front of the cabinet. So making a bezel for the front is going to be a real pain, but you know, I'm determined to get it done. And the only other option would be to extend this on back and make it stick out. I have seen people do a MAME cabinet or two that way, where that sticks out, and you know, I wouldn't be too proud of myself if I did that. That would really leave the net board subject to getting smacked around and broken, and even if you build a box around it, it's going to look terribly ugly. So I'm going to try to build it to where it just barely clears the back panel that's going to be on there, and it'll just fit in the cabinet, the profile there. But still got this sticky residue here I'm trying to get off. You can see there used to be bowling pins on there. This is one side. I haven't even messed with this side, but the other side I've been working with a little bit. I don't know if you can see in this video. May not be able to. I've got maybe about half of it off, but I haven't been working with it too much. But let's see. Here's a new fluorescent light that I showed you in the last video, and this is gonna go up for the marquee. If I can get in focus here. Thing is, it fits almost perfectly up here, except for, like, if I was to put it along the bracing for the side panels, it almost fits perfectly in between the bracing, but you see there it's bumping. You know, on this side it's inside the bracing behind that switch, and I could mount it up there like that. The switch is a little bit in the way, which I could remount that, but I think what I'm going to do, I think I want to try to get it to where it's mounted right in the middle of the marquee, and maybe have a couple of brackets on each side, or a piece of wood that extends out to mount that too. But I think it's going to work out pretty good. It's pretty much the right width for illuminating. Now I've just got to figure out how to mount it. But again, I think it looks like it'll work great for this arcade cabinet. Probably be a good replacement for other people's arcade cabinets too. And that's pretty much it right now. I'm gonna probably leave that piece of wood right now for rigidity until I get ready to do some more stuff. The cabinet itself, let's see. Right here along the bottom, take a look. We got a few chips from the laminate where it was probably slid out and back on some concrete floors and stuff like that in the warehouse that I got it out of. And up front you can see there's just a little bit of splintering and peeling. And what I'm thinking about doing, since there's kind of a toe plate under there, it's like a little area for your toes to go under when you're playing the game, I think I'm going to eliminate that completely. And I think I'm going to saw the bottom of this cabinet off. I think I'm going to come up 3 to 4 inches and just cut this straight across all the way, and it will take care of all that splintering, and just get rid of that little recessed area underneath there, and just have that new piece of wood start where that piece of wood starts, and go all the way up, and you just won't have that recessed area anymore. Be completely flat on the bottom, and that way I can start off with some, you know, good plywood that doesn't have any splintering. You know, even this side's got some chips and all. It's where somebody has slid it around on the floor. It didn't have any rollers on it or glides or anything like that. And it does have the, I don't think you can see in there, but let me get a flashlight. You might be able to see back there. There's a hole there, and there's one right there. There's one in each corner. That it does have the little threaded piece in there, so you can put some leg levelers or whatever you call them, little gliders on there. And I might get some to put on here, but I may not use that piece of wood. You know, it's got a little staining to it. Something's been spilt in the bottom right there. Looks like something oily, but I don't know what it is. and I was just going to paint over it with some Kills or something, put some primer on it and repaint it. But since I'm going to make the recess disappear in the front, that piece of wood is going to have to be probably another 4 inches longer to come all the way to the front once I drop the cabinet about 3 or 4 inches. And so I might just cut another whole new piece of plywood for that and just use this for some scrap if I need some little supports or something like that, since it's still a pretty good piece of plywood. And take those little braces off the side there and remount them up a few inches higher. And the MDF or whatever that makes up the 2 pieces of a back panel, this piece right here, it's got a couple of air holes for it to breathe there. I don't know if there were any fans ever mounted in there. I think it's just a little area. And then that right there is the place where the second piece starts to the top. All that's going to probably be taken off, and I'm going to put new plywood or new MDF back there. But might make it a little thinner too, because if you take a look, it's actually pretty thick. It's like 3/4 inch, and I don't like the way it looks. I mean, it's white on this, you know, against red, and I can paint it black and it'd be black against black, but I just don't like how thick it is. I mean, I could probably get something you know, at least a 1/2 inch, you know, and it'd be a little less noticeable, but that's just the way this is mounted to the back. And, you know, I could change the way it was mounted to the back and recess it inside there, but that's going to take away from my depth for the monitor. If I cut this so it can go on the inside of the cabinet, like a lot of cabinets are, then that's going to take away, you know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch off of my depth that I desperately need for the monitor. So probably won't mess with that. I'll probably just maybe recreate it with some 1/2 inch plywood or 1/2 inch MDF or something. But anyway, maybe I'll come back in a minute and get this part out right here and just kind of show you. We're not focusing again. Hello. It's supposed to automatically focus, but I have a very poor lit room. I'll show you what it looks like in a minute with this part taken out and everything, and we can kind of get an idea maybe how I could put some mounts in there to put the new monitor in. Hey guys, just turned the cabinet on its side for a few minutes, and I was taking a look at the bottom, and you can kind of see what I was talking about along the bottom edge. If there's enough light here, there's chips in the laminate, which is no big problem. That's all going to be kind of sanded, and I'm going to apply new laminate to it. But you know, if I was applying straight over that bad part there, I would need to put some Bondo or something like that in there, some type of filler, wood filler, and sand it and get it good and smooth, because you want a good smooth surface underneath any laminate you're going to put on. I mean, it can cover up some minor imperfections. It could probably cover up like this gouge. I have no idea who did this, but it's pretty deep gouge. It looks like just a nail, and I don't know, maybe if somebody was moving it in the back of a truck and it got caught up on something and they just pulled it and it just made that all the way across. But besides that, all this red laminate has stayed pretty well intact. I mean, over 25 years, I think like 27 years, if this is all original to the cabinet. And I think pretty much that was the year this cabinet was made. I'm thinking it was around 85. But besides that, and these chips down here, which, like I say, somebody's just been scooting this around on the ground, and there's where you would put your leg levelers. Those are those little tap-in inserts that people knock in. They drill out a hole and then smack those in there, and it's got metal threads up in there, and you can thread in leg levelers. And some people get wheels and put on there. I don't know if you could find those that are threaded perfectly for that or not. Probably can. But I'm just thinking, you know, there's damage right down there that's really wearing me more than anything. If you see on the front of the cabinet, this is an area, I guess, just for your toes to clear under when you're standing in front of the cabinet. And I mean, it's okay. It's, you know, it's okay design. I don't like it myself, but you know, it just leaves those corner pieces right there very vulnerable if you're sliding this cabinet around. I mean, they're taking a lot of pressure from the weight of the cabinet, the monitor, and everything in there. And it's just over the years of moving it like that, the plywood's just cracked and tried to separate and stuff, you know. And if I can come up to, you know, this point right here, or maybe just slightly below, and just cut straight across, and you know, basically that'd be like right here. Maybe be flush with this, or maybe just a hair down, you know, wherever the good plywood starts. And you know, this part's kind of peeling a little bit, you can see right there. Just come up to the point to where it gets good and solid and it's not trying to peel or anything, and just maybe snap a chalk line across there, or use a level and make me a line, and then come back with a skill saw and just cut straight across and take off maybe 3 to 4 inches off the bottom of this cabinet. And if I do that all the way across, of course the cabinet will be a little shorter, but you know, like I said, I kind of wanted my MAME cabinet to be a little smaller than the Mortal Kombat's anyway, and it's not as wide, and it's just about as tall. The top of this cabinet is, you know, it's flat across the top. And the Mortal Kombat's has got, you know, there's kind of angle from the back to the front. It goes up a little higher in the front. I think in the front they might be a couple inches taller than this cabinet, but they're about the same height. It's just the width of this one's only a couple of feet, and the Mortal Kombat's more, you know, a little bit closer to 2.5 feet, maybe a little less than that. And if I did that though, it'd just shorten the cabinet just a little bit. And you know, like I said, these back panels here, I can replace those with some plywood, and those are going to have to be cut anyway because I don't want that piece with that big hole where the power supply used to be mounted. And this bottom piece, since it doesn't go all the way across because there's a little place for your toes to go up under, I would probably just cut another whole piece that would extend, you know, the entire width of the side. So it would be, you know, one big piece, and it wouldn't have that, you know, little piece there and that other little piece making that little place for your toes to kind of go up under, kind of like a little kick area. And it'd just be easier. So we just have one piece here that would extend all the way out to here, and then one piece here that would go all the way up to where the bottom of the control panel was. But I think that'll work out pretty good, and you know, take care of all these nicks and any of that weak plywood, because this plywood's good and strong after you get on up in there. I mean, even right here, I mean, I don't think there's any moisture damage really there. It doesn't seem like it. Seems like pretty good plywood. Can't like dig your fingernail into it or anything like that. Up here, maybe just a little bit. I'm not sure, but the main thing is just where that pressure's been on there, and this has been slid to the left and the right. Out and back has just kept separating the plywood out and back. But I'm gonna cut all that out and fix that up, get the new laminate on there, and it should look really great after that. Okay guys, I got that old 19-inch monitor surround out, the wood that was in there, and there was a couple of pieces of plywood that was pressing down on it and supporting it against some more. Got a little bit of the gold trim off that was around where the marquee plexiglass was. One of those pieces came off the control panel. I just had it on top of the cab, but two of them, one went on the upper side and one went on the lower side of the marquee. And I went ahead and took the power switch out, that big toggle switch. It's an AC power switch that originally cut the cabinet on and off. And there's what the cabinet looks like right now. With that out of it, you can see there's a couple of supporting pieces in there. Little, I don't know if you could call those 1x2s. They look like maybe 3/4 by 1.5, but anyways, those are just what was supporting the old 19-inch monitor. And even though they're pretty sturdy, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws across each one going into the plywood. I don't think that's enough strength, even though it's very strong, to hold that new monitor, because those monitors weigh, good gracious. That sucker there, I don't know, probably weighs 70 pounds or something. But what I'm going to do is probably take these out, but in a similar fashion, I'm probably going to mount either some 1x4s or something like that in, and I'm going to, you know, lay them flat against here and run them down this way at an angle, be down that way, and it'll support the monitor sitting on them actually, and put several screws in there. I mean, probably have like 10 screws on each one. Just, you know, pre-drill my holes and leave plenty of wood for it to get a bite on, and do that on each side, and that should be plenty of strength for the monitor. And then on the upper side, probably get some metal brackets or something and attach right in here to tie into those little corner attachments where the bolts are on the monitor. And let's see, like I said, got the old mechanical power switch out, 120 volt AC switch. Might use this hole again and put that switch back in it, or put a different switch in there. I'm not sure. Let's see. And one more thing, I did in the mail get me a slot cutting bit. Got that yesterday. I'm waiting on the arbor for it. This is a 1/16 inch 3-wing slot cutter by Porter Cable. I got a really good deal on it, $7 with shipping included on eBay. I think these are probably, I'd say over $10. They might be on up to $15 if you go buy it in the store, plus tax. But it's brand new in the package, and I'm just waiting on the arbor for it. You got to get a 1/4 inch arbor to fit that trim router that I've got, and it should be, in shipping right now. It might be here tomorrow or the next day. And along with I got a pack of female spade connectors for all my joysticks and my buttons and everything. Got 100 pack of those coming that are insulated. And that's pretty much it for right now. And I'll talk to you guys later.